Well, last Monday, mourners gathered at St Patrick's Cathedral in Melbourne to pay their respects to Labor Senator Kimberley Kitching. It was a dignified service, but one that did not gloss over the truth.
The husband of the late Senator Kimberley Kitching has used his eulogy to reveal the immense pressure his wife was under from members of the Labor Party.
And while celebrating her achievements, the senator's grieving husband used his eulogy to call out the poor treatment of his late wife and what she received by her Labor colleagues.
There's a lot I could say about the unpleasantness of a cantankerous cabal, not all of them in Parliament, that was aimed at Kimber.
A husband's grief, pointed and direct.
The intensity of it did baffle and hurt her. She deserves so very much better.
This story has dominated the news for the last fortnight, especially given opposition leader Anthony Albanese's repeated refusal to investigate allegations that Labor Senators Penny Wong, Christina Keneally and Katie Gallagher bullied Kitching, which they strongly deny.
So naturally, though, you would expect the ABC's flagship current affairs program, The Drum, would cover Kitching's funeral, right? Well, afraid not, because as one woke Drum fan enthusiastically tweeted that evening, kudos to ABC's Drum! Oh. Superb program that discussed a number of important political and social issues tonight, without once mentioning Kimberley Kitching. There is hope for Aussie journalism after all. Julia Baird is the best!
At first, we thought that was a bad joke, but then we watched Monday's episode, so that the rest of the nation does not have to. And, incredibly, host Julia Baird did not mention Kitching once. Is this the same Julia Baird who proudly identifies as a feminist? And who wrote a book decrying the poor treatment of female politicians? Or is it just the poor treatment of female politicians in a certain party? Here's Julia Baird last year.
All of these women in the history of the Liberal Party have said this matters and we need to do more. It was bullying, intimidation, on the basis of gender. They'd seen women bullied at meetings repeatedly. No. These are women who wrote this report.
And as I said, I was involved.
Okay, no, but I'm saying, and they were gravely disappointed that it was not followed up on. So that's a cultural problem with the leadership.
Cultural problem, yes, indeed. So what issues was the Drum covering that were so important they couldn't mention Kitching's funeral? Here's one example.
And when it sort of translates to the cost of living and your ability to purchase things, and the case I want to make specifically is the coffees in my area going up.
Right.
Oh, wow.
Coffees, yep, important stuff. Well, we decided to check every episode of The Drum, again, so you don't have to, from the date of Ms Kitching's death. The programme mentioned her on March 11th, the day after her passing, but viewed her death largely as simply a health issue.
Maybe stress was part of it, and Bill was so eloquent and so sad. That was just heart-rendering listening to him. But, to blame a pre-selection or I think we're on a bit of a slippery slope there. We don't know the details.
That was it. Just one segment, pitiful segment, covering Kitching since her death, despite multiple stories subsequently coming out about her alleged treatment by members of her own party. Not one mention of Penny Wong, Christina Keneally or Katie Gallagher. Yet again, the ABC providing cover for its favoured politicians, a blatant violation of its code of conduct.
Your taxes pay for this, and you are entitled to expect shows like The Drum to inform you about current affairs. But this is what you get in return.
Racism in the workplace is commonplace and often overlooked and underestimated by white colleagues.
People who are white, I need you to be part of this conversation. I need you to have the courage and the humility to take our hand and walk together.
And rejigging the Wiggles, can new takes on old hits span the ages?